Hi everybody, it's Sarah at the Windham Public Library here for November's Art Night In. This month we are going to make napkin rings for the winter holiday food season, and we're going to make them out of book pages, and I'm going to teach you how to make a rose out of book pages, and we'll add some leaves to it and some color. In this month's kit you will get 4 of these silk leaves. You'll have book pages, 2 different types. This is important. One has a circle on it. Let's see if you can see that. So the circle is already copied on it, and the other one doesn't. So the other one, neither side has a circle on it. You'll receive 4 of these colored strips. This is Mod Podge that will dry clear, a paintbrush, and a tube. This one I have already cut for the video, but it's about 4 inches, and so you just divide it up into inches and you cut it like that. So we'll get started right away. I'm going to show you the basics of covering it with the book, but I think that's pretty self-explanatory, and then I'm going to teach you how to make the rose. And if you would like to come pick up your kits, they'll be available on November 1st, and we have a limited supplies, so it's first come first served, and I hope you enjoy the craft. All right, so what we're going to do is get started with the blank sheet. So this one has the circle on it. We're going to get started with this one right here. And I've already cut my roll, my tube, into a 1 inch like this. And it doesn't matter if it has some on the sides, because we're actually going to, I'll show you, we're going to go over it with our Mod Podge. So I'm cutting kind of larger strips that will be a little bit thicker than this. That way we can fold over the sides like that. And we can just do it little bits at a time. So I'm just going to take that, grab my Mod Podge. This takes a little bit longer to dry than Elmer's glue, but it's awesome because it leaves a nice glossy coat. So you can actually paint over your flower when you're done. So I'm just laying it on. Line it up a little bit better. And then I'm going to paint the inside underneath so I can fold this paper over. And you just kind of smooth it down, push it down along the sides like that. And then cover it with a coat, because this will protect it, since they're used for holding napkin rings at a table with food. Food can get on them or they can get wet, and this Mod Podge will protect it, not for like dropping it in a sink full of water, but it'll protect it from getting splashed with water. And then, as you notice on the inside, there is some of the white tube, and that's what this red strip is for. So this red strip you can cut down to whatever size you want it to be. You can even trim it down a little bit so it's not as wide. And then you'll simply just put the Mod Podge inside, and then put your circle on the inside, just to make that nice and clean. So that's how that part is done, and that's easy and fairly simple, so I think you guys are good to go on that. The harder part is the flower, but really it's not tricky at all, and I am going to use a hot glue gun for this because I need to do it quickly. You guys are welcome to use the Mod Podge for this. So to start, you're just going to cut the circle out, and while you're cutting the circle out, you're going to kind of like make little bumps around the circle, kind of like you were doing a small flower, like you were cutting out a daisy. So, and it doesn't matter if they're the same size, and when you get to this last one, you're going to go in. So we're now creating a spiral, and we just keep, I just turn the paper as I do it. creating this spiral going in, and that's actually what just gives the leaves of this book rose some dimension, is just these. So it doesn't matter how big they are, it doesn't matter what size they are, it doesn't matter anything if they're lined up correctly. So you can see. So here's the one that I have right here that I finished, and you can see it unwound. And now you can do it just plain, or you can color the tips in, which is just going around the edges and just doing the outside edge like this. And that will give it a little bit of color, the way this one has a little bit of color, or you can just leave it plain, whichever one you like. So we'll pretend that that part's done, and here is the colored one. Now, using your paintbrush, you are going to start with this outside one right here, and we're going to just start rolling it onto the paintbrush. So you can see, just rolling it onto the paintbrush. Now, I'm not going to glue anything yet. I'm just rolling, and I'm rolling tight, but I'm actually going to let it go at the end so that I can kind of mold it to look the way I want it to look. So you just keep rolling, and you can see this part's like up ahead. We'll fix all that. It doesn't look like a rose right now. It just looks like something rolled up. The kind of cool part and a little bit tricky is the last bit right here. So this last bit you kind of roll around and you make like a cone over it, and that's where we're going to put glue, is in this bottom part. So then I'm going to let it totally unwind like that. So see, it's still holding its form. I just let it completely unwind so I can push that middle part in. I can open it up a little bit if I want it to be a little bit wider. I can kind of just unravel it a little bit, make it a little bit wider like that. It's really pretty. And so if you have a hot glue gun at home, this part would be really easy for you to do. You just want to add some hot glue to this bottom piece right here without burning yourself, and then pop that on like that. Now I'll show you one that I did, and I haven't glued it yet because I wanted to be able to show you. This is the one that I did that is without the tips colored, and so, and you can, if you choose, you can not use the circles that I gave you and make them bigger. Make your circles bigger, and it will just make your flower bigger. I was just trying to do a flower that was relatively the right size for the napkin ring and didn't take over, and also like the right size for these leaves. So with these leaves, I trimmed off this extra part here, but please feel free to use whatever you'd like. And I cut my leaves down a little bit because these were a little bit big. So you can just trim it down so it's a size that you like, a size that works for you. And then, again, I'm going to hot glue it, but you can use your Mod Podge. And what's great is there's a wire inside, so you can kind of like bend it and twist it the way that you want to. We'll use another dot of glue. Add our rose to it, and there you go. So it's a really fun project. It'll look really cute on anybody's table this Thanksgiving or for whichever holidays you celebrate with food for this winter. And again, kits are available at the circulation desk, so come in November 1st. We also, on November 1st, have a class, an in-person class, and so this video airs afterwards, so you would have missed that class. But just remember, for the month of December, that we will be doing in-person classes at the library on the first Monday of every month from 5:30 to 6:30. I hope you have a great day.